Do you guys remember Boku no Hero? Yeah, well, it's in the toilet right now. This show has so many layers of stinking and bombing, it got into a point where if you slander it online, no one would care. You know how insane that is? To put it in perspective, if you go online right now and say that Hitler is an evil person, someone will be like,
No, hold on a minute.
but no one out there is willing to take the risk and defend My Hero Academia, which is a sentiment of how much he stinks.
Uh-oh. Stinky poop.
To be honest with you, it's been a long time since I've watched this series. I remember quitting after a really bad season. The funny thing is, I don't remember which one it was. They all just melt together in my mind, but I've always kept an eye on it. I watched it like any self-respecting anime fan, by watching big fight scenes and trending clips on Instagram and Twitter. And this is how I came across this scene. Let's break down why this clip is horrible. Right off the bat, this is a clear copy of this Attack on Titan scene. Now why does it work in Attack on Titan but not here? It's a lot of reasons, but first of all, stakes. The stakes in Attack on Titan couldn't be any higher. The whole squad was wiped in an instant from one decision, and no one saw it coming. It was from left field, and it had a real punch to it. But in Boku no Hero, we already saw what was going on in the last few episodes, and we all know there will be minimum stakes. Like just one person is injured and it's Bakugo. Who really cares if he dies?
We don't care.
I didn't watch the ending, but I just know that everyone will be fine in the end. And thus, this scene is inconsequential and a waste of time. And there is nothing at stake here.
Okay, Sean. Fucking shit!
Secondly, and the most crucial mistake here, this scene lingered. In all honesty, it ran for way more than it should have. Okay, I'm done dissecting this one singular scene. I want to talk more about the core letdown of this anime, because bad execution is just one layer of the awfulness that is Boku no Hero. It wasn't always like this, believe it or not, this show was shaping up to be something really great. Let's go back to 2016. Good times for anything, music, gaming, TV, and anime. And there is this new hot show coming out that has a really promising start. It's early to tell, but it's looking like it will define its era, but it just kept getting worse and worse. Okay, end of flashback. This constant downgrade in quality is a product of two things: the slow progression and the characters. Yes, the characters, the main focus. They suck. Every last one of them, they all suck. Everyone is just flat and one-dimensional. These characters should be studied in school, because this is the clearest example of plot devices. And the main guy, the main man, the star of the show, is the worst one of them all. Midoriya is annoying, there is no better way to say it, but make no mistake here, it's not by preference, no. The character is deeply flawed and inconsistent. Let's cut to the chase. The not killing thing. Sorry, the unaliving thing. It's just so outdated right now. Back then you could somewhat do it, but after all the gore that became normal in TV, the shows that don't have it seem more like kids TV. And even if we ignore that and treat it like it's a code, it still doesn't make any sense. It's kinda like Batman's thing where he doesn't kill the Joker despite him being a clear menace to society. But at least in Batman's case, it's somewhat justifiable. Batman doesn't kill people because it's not his place. He's not the justice system. And he doesn't want to play God and decide who dies and who doesn't. He leaves it to Gordon and the police to deal with the criminals he catches. Because technically, he is a criminal, but having him is a net positive. However, in My Hero Academia, heroes have an authority. They're not vigilantes running around and breaking the law. They are government employees. So the case is much simpler here. I really don't understand why they chose this route of saving what's his face, because at some point some criminal's salvation comes in the form of them dying. No matter how much you empathize with him, Shigaraki should die. I honestly don't know how I remembered his name. And with this whole thing aside, if we take a deeper look into Midoriya, we start to wonder, why did he get the power in the first place? There are so many characters that are more deserving and more prepared than him. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about Midoriya, but honestly, looking back at the show, the only good character is All Might, and they butchered him.
Look how they massacred my boy.
I didn't even touch on the horrible pacing. This show runs slower than time in 2020. In like 3 seasons and like 4 or 5 years, these guys didn't even finish a semester. It's just really slow. We can safely say that this anime's downfall comes down to botched execution, sloppy pacing, horrendous character, and everything else. You might think I'm overreacting or overanalyzing and critiquing, but the fact is I'm just disappointed, deeply disappointed, because this anime, as I said, had a promising start and a cool concept that we all fell in love with. And just to think that this has started before The Boys, and it could have been the show that changed superheroes altogether if they just put a little bit more effort in. They could have gave us something really special, but they had to go the worst possible route. Not only was it not revolutionary, it sucked in all fronts. It wasn't a decent series. Hell, it wasn't even a decent watch by the lowest standards possible. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say about this series. What do you think? Was I harsh or was I right? And subscribe if you enjoyed. That's it. Bye.